On August 27, 1979, a bomb exploded on a fishing boat just offshore from this castle. Lord Louis Mountbatten, cousin to the Queen, mentor to Prince Charles, the last Viceroy of India, was killed instantly. So were his grandson Nicholas, a local teenager, and the Dowager Baroness Brabourne. This is Classiebawn Castle, and for over 4 decades, it stood here on Mullimore Head in County Sligo, simultaneously one of Ireland's most beautiful landmarks and a reminder of the country's most painful chapter. Today, we're exploring what brought the Mountbattens here, what happened that morning, and why this stretch of Sligo coastline remains one of the most hauntingly beautiful places you can visit in Ireland. Classiebawn wasn't built for the Mountbattens. The castle was commissioned in 1867 by Lord Palmerston. Yes, that Palmerston, the British Prime Minister who died 2 years earlier. His estate carried out his plans. What rose on this headland was a Victorian Gothic masterpiece. Gray limestone walls, a tower with commanding views of the Atlantic, and grounds that sweep down to the sea with Ben Bulben looming to the southeast. The Mountbatten connection came through marriage. Edwina Ashley, Lord Mountbatten's wife, inherited the estate in 1939 from her grandfather, Sir Ernest Castle. Suddenly, the Mountbattens owned this remote Irish castle, and Louis fell in love with the place immediately. For decades, despite the troubles raging across the border in Northern Ireland, Mountbatten returned every August. The fishing was exceptional. The village of Mulligmore, barely 200 people, treated him as a neighbor, not a target. The IRA had actually surveilled him for years, but locals assumed he was untouchable. The castle became his sanctuary. The morning of August 27, 1979, began like any other August morning at Classiebawn. Mountbatten, then 79 years old, took his boat Shadow V out from Mullimore Harbor with 6 family members and a local teenager named Paul Maxwell, who'd been working as a boat boy that summer. The IRA had planted a 50-pound bomb aboard the vessel the night before. At 11:30, just a few hundred meters offshore, in full view of the castle, they detonated it by remote control from the cliffs. Mountbatten died instantly. So did Paul Maxwell, age 15. So did Nicholas Knatchbull, Mountbatten's 14-year-old grandson. The Dowager Baroness Brabourne, 83, died the next day. Others survived with terrible injuries. The same day, the IRA killed 18 British soldiers in an ambush at Warren Point in County Down. It was the deadliest day for the British Army in the entire Troubles. Anglo-Irish relations hit their lowest point in decades. What strikes you standing at Mullimore today is how small it all is. The harbor fits maybe 20 boats. The castle looms above, and the spot where Shadow V exploded is close enough that people on shore heard their screams. Classiebawn remains privately owned today. You cannot enter the grounds or tour the castle, but you can see it, and this coastline rewards the effort. Start in Mullimore village itself. It's tiny, but the harbor is picturesque, and there's a memorial stone to those killed in the bombing. From the pier, you can look up at Classiebawn exactly as Mountbatten would have seen it from his boat. The Mullimore Head Loop Walk takes you around the headland. About 5 kilometers, easy terrain, with the castle visible for much of it. The cliffs here are extraordinary. and on clear days you can see Donegal's Blue Stack Mountains to the north. Drive the coast road south towards Streeta Beach and you'll pass the famous wreck site of 3 Spanish Armada ships. Over 1,000 men drowned here in 1588. The beach itself stretches for 3 kilometers, often deserted. This is Yeats country. The poet's grave is 20 minutes away in Drumcliff Churchyard, under Ben Bulben, the flat-topped mountain that dominates every view. Glencar Waterfall, which Yeats wrote about, is a short detour. Lissadell House, childhood home of Constance Markievicz, offers tours. Here's what I'd tell you if we were planning this trip together. Visit in the shoulder season, late May or September. August, ironically, is when Mullimore gets its few tourists, and you'll find it harder to appreciate the silence that defines this place. Stay in Sligo town. 25 minutes south. The town has proper restaurants and pubs. Mullimore has one pub, and it's not always open. Hargadon's in Sligo is a Victorian gem, unchanged for a century. Classiebawn does excellent seafood. For the walk, start at the car park by Classiebawn's gates. The loop is well marked. Bring layers. This coast gets Atlantic wind even in summer. The light at sunset, with the castle silhouetted against Donegal Bay, is exceptional. A note on tone. Locals remember 1979. This isn't ancient history here. Paul Maxwell was from the village. Some visitors treat this as dark tourism. Don't. You're walking through a real place where real people died and where their families still live. Respect that. Classiebawn Castle sits at an intersection of Irish history that most visitors never discover. Victorian ambition, British aristocracy, troubles, and a murder that shocked the world, all centered on a tiny Sligo village that still pulls its fishing boats into the same harbor. You don't come here for the castle itself. You come for what it represents. A reminder that Ireland's beauty and Ireland's pain have always occupied the same ground. If you've visited Mullimore or have memories of that summer in 1979, leave a comment below. And if you know someone planning a trip to the Northwest, share this with them. This is the Ireland most visitors miss. Full guide linked below. See you next Monday.